You should drink that whole thing.
Hello and welcome to the Free Outside Show. Today we're going to talk about the Wonderland Trail, aka your first backpacking experience. The show is brought to you by John G, JANJI.com for all the goods and things you need to wear to fit in society and not get arrested for indecent exposure. Garage Grown Gear for all your gear you're going to need to do something like Allison. And CS Coffee to be caffeinated enough to do podcast. All right. On to the episode. So you just finished the Wonderland Trail, which is approximately like 89 miles.
Maybe like 95, maybe. Okay. I think.
Nice. Why did you do it?
Well, you said it would be a good idea.
But you also wanted to do it.
I also wanted to do it. But last year, when it was looking like the Tusher's 100K was maybe going to be canceled because of wildfires, because literally part of the course was on fire, I was a little bit maybe panicking, should we say, about what to do. And you said you should look into doing the Wonderland Trail as a backup. And so I did, and the idea just never really left my mind, even though they pulled it together and the 100K happened on a, I think, almost totally new route, which was beautiful.
But why did you backpack it? You decided to go on your first backpacking trip alone. Isn't that scary for a woman?
I was terrified.
It was scary for me on my first one too.
Oh, good. Thanks.
Yeah.
You're human after all.
Yeah, but why did you decide that's how you wanted to do it instead of like go run it or something?
Well, I was considering maybe going after the FKT on it, and I told you I was going to go do it over 2 days because I could only find one campsite that I could book in advance. So what if I just went and did a 50-mile day and then another 50-mile day, and the only thing I was going to bring was my emergency space blanket? And you said, maybe don't do that.
Yeah, that seems like a miserable way to see that trail.
Yeah, you said you probably want to see all of it in daylight, and why don't you backpack it over 3 days and do a backpacking trip? And
yeah, so how did it go?
It was really fun and really beautiful and very challenging and very hard. And backpacking is really hard.
Yeah, no, it's just walking though. How is it hard?
You gotta carry a lot of stuff. Even though I felt like I didn't carry that much stuff, and I will say I got a lot of compliments on how small my pack was. Some people thought I was only a day hiker out there. I still definitely carried too much food, too much stuff.
So what was your itinerary? Where did you start? What was the plan?
The plan was, I did still book campsites in advance because I like a plan and I like knowing what's going to happen and that everything is planned for and accounted for. So I started in Longmire, and the first night I slept at Mowich Lake.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next night I slept at Tamino's Creek, which is actually off the trail. I had to go about 4 miles off trail to get to that campsite. And then the last night I was back in my car. So I car camped.
So to get to the one that's off trail, you hitchhiked?
I did. I did my second and my third hitchhike ever, also influenced by you.
Yeah, well, I just stand on the shoulders of all the hitchhikers that came before me. But, okay, so you start out, and when do you start realizing that 30 miles is kind of far when you have to carry your home? Well, you started late, too. What happened?
I started late as well. I just went in maybe a little bit overconfident because I also didn't...
Typical ultrarunner. Welcome to backpacking.
I also didn't totally... When I had made the plan, I had texted some friends and been like, I've got a plan. It's like 3 30-ish mile days. Do you want to do it? And no one was able to get off work or to come and do it, which is also how I ended up doing it solo. It wasn't fully my intention, but just because nobody else is available or wants to do it with me isn't a reason for me to not still go do it if it's something cool. Like, I don't care. I'll do it by myself, whatever. So I camped the night before outside the park, and I was like, great, I'm right outside the park. According to my maps, I'm so close. I can just sleep in, make breakfast, go pick up my permit, and get started. Boom. Well, not totally true. I got into the park within like 5 minutes from where I was camping. But to get all the way down and over around to Longmire was about an hour drive. So,
Tough.
oh well, that's fine. I finished my tea. I had a lovely, beautiful drive, got to see some sights. And yeah, then I got my permit and I started about between 9:30 and 9:40. I was out on the trail. And I thought, okay, 30 miles. Let's say I can do 3 miles an hour, roughly. That's about 10 hours. So I still should get there by like 8 p.m., 8:30 with stops, let's say. Well, it turns out there's also a really big difference between 30 miles and 34 miles when you're backpacking. 4 more miles is like over an hour more time that it's going to take you to get where you're trying to get. So I was moving well on day one, and it didn't really hit me that it wasn't, not only was it not going to be 10 hours, it also wasn't going to be 12 hours. Probably about the time that the sun started to set and I got really hungry. And so I hadn't seen anyone in a while, so I just took off my pack and sat on a bridge and cooked dinner right in the middle of the trail. And then I was like waiting for it to cool off to eat it, and I was like, I am just wasting so much time sitting here waiting for my food to cool off, and I've got to get to this campsite. How am I going to set up my tent in the dark? I mean, I did have my Kogala waist light, so at least I hadn't been such an idiot. I'd packed a light source for the evening. But I was like, I've just got to go. I've just got to keep moving. I don't have time to sit here. So I tucked my trekking poles under my armpit, and then I just walked along with my pot and my spoon and just ate couscous as I went along with my Kogala light shining the way. And somehow also during that, I managed to take a video to send to you. I don't know how I got all these hands, but I made it happen.
Well, you'll soon ascend to the level where you have your first fall and ruin all your dinner and just have the saddest evening ever. But I'm glad that you got to learn about multitasking, because over your life you'll be brought back to earth of like, dang, sometimes it doesn't work out. I once did that with coffee, like 10 steps out of camp carrying coffee. I tripped and fell and knocked it all over. Another time I made it and kicked it over while packing up my tent.
Oh, no.
Those are the times you remember. You don't remember the great meal you ate while walking. You remember the one you almost had, the one that got away.
Oh, no.
So your plan for food was you were going to have a lot of time to lounge during the day and cook too, right?
Oh, yeah. I thought, again, I was like, 30 miles a day, that's probably like 10 hours, maybe 12. So even if I start at 7 or 7:30, I can just stop and have like carrots and fresh hummus. I brought this hummus powder. I could like stop and cook lunch and look at the views. And it was like, oh no, we have to be moving the whole entire time basically of the next 14 hours or you're not going to make it to your next campsite. And that's a problem for me because I'm a rule follower too. I'm like, this is what my permit says. I have to get to this spot. So
yeah, those are the rules.
Those are the rules. I followed all the rules.
Yeah, and it took way longer every day than expected.
No, it took the same amount of time every day.
Okay.
I would say roughly. So after, because when I started doing the math, which is always dangerous for me, on day one, I was like, oh my God, I might not finish for like 16 hours, which puts me getting into this campsite at like 2 a.m. That's no good. But luckily that didn't happen. I was like, oh, 1350? That's not bad.
Go for it.
Oh no, you're good. And then yeah, day two was also like 13:52, and the last day took the longest, but it was still like 14:02 or something. I'm very consistent.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned.
Yeah. What was the hard part? What slowed you down about it?
Definitely the weight of the pack, I think, was a huge wake-up call, because the most I've backpacked before this with you has been like one overnight, and even our biggest trip in Big Bend, we did 20 miles on day 1 and like 20 miles on day 2.
Yeah, maybe even a little less.
Maybe a little less.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was maybe like 22. Anyway,
I think the second day might have been 22.
And then the first one was 19 or something.
But one was uphill, like 7,000 feet.
Yeah, and one was all downhill. But I remember at one point on that trip, you took out a bunch of stuff from my pack and put it in yours so I could keep up with you better, because you said you don't care how much weight you carry for 20 miles. But I care. I've learned.
Yeah.
I care a lot.
It matters, yeah.
It matters a lot.
Well, this is the interesting thing about ultra running versus thru hiking, is even like gels and the calories per ounce. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is like really bad for gels.
Well, I didn't pack any gels. I did eventually throw away the carrots I had packed.
Like into the wilderness?
No, I threw them in a garbage can. I did leave no trace.
You fed them to the elk?
Yeah, right out of the palm of my hand.
The reindeer?
I said, come to me. No, I was like, what am I doing? I'm never going to eat these. I can't keep carrying these around. So into the garbage can they went, which was really sad for me because I hate food waste. But I also was like, I'm probably carrying like, I don't know, a quarter pound of carrots. For what?
Total calories, 5?
Yeah, for what reason? Now I get why you hate vegetables. I was like, what's the point of this?
That's my line. I don't hate vegetables, but there is no point.
There is no point.
What is in them that's useful? Iron, maybe?
Fiber?
Fiber,
Vitamin A?
Magnesium's in them. That's important. But none of these things are like the key things your body needs. You don't see like...
What are the key things your body needs?
You don't see Scott Jurek running Western States eating a hunk of broccoli.
Not yet.
He still eats gels. Well, he doesn't run anymore, but if he did, he'd eat gels. Yeah. Gnawing on some plant protein, some jackfruit. So...
Jackfruit is pointless, and I stand by that. Sorry.
Okay, who cares? Vegetables are all pointless.
I care because there's no protein in it, and I'm vegan, and when people try and say, oh, we've got jackfruit tacos, I'm like, okay, great, cool, 20 calories, no protein. I don't want that as a taco.
What vegetables do you have in the fridge right now?
Broccoli, squash,
zucchini. What's in those? What makes those worthwhile?
Well, they're yummy.
So if you put jackfruit and broccoli over... What's the difference?
Jackfruit also just doesn't taste good in my opinion.
Okay, so that's the key part of your whole argument, I'm thinking. I don't think any of them are better than each other. Just if you like one, it's okay, and if you don't, it's not okay.
Yeah.
Celery, pointless, unless you like it. Then
I like celery.
Then it's still pointless, but you like it. That's how it goes. So what did you learn from this backpacking trip?
I learned...
Hold on. This show is brought to you by John G. And this is the part of the show where I'm supposed to say what I'm wearing on the FKT, because right now I should be on the Appalachian Trail, fastest known time attempt. And I'm going to wear the AFO 5-inch ultra shorts, the snappy Trekker shirt. I'll probably cut the sleeves off. I haven't decided. And maybe an AFO visor. You can get them all at janji.com. Promo code free outside. Okay, back to the show.
I did wear all John G on the Wonderland Trail.
Thank you. I'll Venmo you after the show for saying that. So, get all your needs
I did.
JohnG.com.
And you know what? I never took off. I wore a tank top, a John G tank top, and sun hoodie, and I never took it off the whole entire time. I even slept in it.
The Wonderland Trail is weird because it never really gets that hot. And it gets kind of cold, but you could probably make a sun shirt work. So you can almost wear the same clothing no matter what time of day it is out there.
And I did.
Yeah, it's a weird trail. Because when you're running and stuff, you're warm enough, and when you're sleeping, you got your sleeping bag. Yeah. I'd say
Boom.
it's a temperature agnostic trail.
Yes, sure. It definitely got hot at some points, I would say. But then I just put the hood up on the sun hoodie and boom,
Heat training?
it deflected the sun's rays
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that
from
too.
my ears.
That too, not a sauna suit style.
No,
I
no.
can never tell these days with some sun hoodies and stuff. It's like, he's trying to stay warmer or stay cooler? Because
Yeah, I
Insane.
will say on the very last night, like 2 miles from finishing, I had put the hood up, this time a little bit more for warmth. And this family was hiking out past me, and the mom was like, oh, it's a lot cooler by the water or something like that. And I was like, or just up top. I just dropped like 3,000 feet. I was like, I just wanted to have my hood on. I wanted to look like a turtle.
interesting. Okay. So what else did you learn?
I learned not to take a green and brown travel mug because
Why not?
it fell out of my side pocket on my pack on day one.
A
And
lot of thru hikers would say not to take a travel mug, but you choose color.
well, it made it impossible to find. So RIP, God bless to that travel mug. It's on its own journey now.
What a lot of us have liked to do is for like a 3-day trip, you can just take like a cardboard cup or something and reuse it those 3 days, then recycle it. But
Yeah.
you have to learn some of these lessons the hard way.
That's what I did in Big Bend, but I didn't stop and buy coffee or tea because I don't drink coffee. I didn't buy tea anywhere on my way out, so I didn't have one of those. Oh,
Too
well.
bad.
I learned every mile really counts when you're backpacking. I even pulled up the text thread that I'd sent to my friends to be like, how far am I going every day? Because I actually don't know at this point. I don't remember. And so I was hoping I had said like, day 1 is this, day 2 is that, day 3 is this. Oh no, I had just texted them like, each day is like 30 miles. It's about a 30-mile day each day, whatever. And
How were you navigating?
I had downloaded the GPX into Gaia. So that was helpful, especially a few of those like river bed crossings. So I learned, yeah, every mile really counts. 3 miles an hour would be a miracle speed with a backpack on. I don't know how you do 4 miles an hour like pretty much all the time, it seems like. But probably you have a lot lighter pack.
Or just like a lot more practice.
And a lot more powerful
This is the
legs.
funny thing about ultra runners is they just think going at a slower speed they're still going to be amazing, but yeah, walking is way different. That's why a lot of thru hikers do really well at Cocodona every year, because you can like walk as fast as the guy next to you running is running if you're a good walker.
Yes. I mean, I feel like I'm a good walker, but the weight was huge. I even noticed because I had like my battery pack for the Kogala and I put it in one of the front pockets at one point, just I think to have it power my light, and just shifting that, I was like, wow, this pack is now 10 times easier to carry. So I even learned like how I would pack things better differently. So the whole last day I just kept it up front even though I wasn't using it. It just distributed the weight better because I had just one filter bottle for water. I also packed like a whole bag like a platypus bag to carry more water around at campsites. Never used that, not once. Did it ever serve any purpose other than just hanging out in my bag?
Well, isn't there a ton of water on
There's
that
a ton
trail?
of water.
Yeah.
But again, in my mind of like a leisurely time, maybe I wanted to fill up more water and then sit around with extra water. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, but I just noticed even what side that was on when it had like a liter or so of water, the opposite shoulder would start to hurt a lot, which was interesting to me because you would think it would be the side that is weighted, but it was, I think, just because it was all distributed weirdly. So then counterbalancing that with the battery pack, I was like, whoa, this is life-changing, you guys.
Wow. Yeah. So What actually happened on the trail? Tell us some like interesting stories other than your pack weight.
I didn't see too many people, which was really nice. I think the Park Service does a really nice job of permitting out for the different campsites, so it never felt that crowded.
Budget cuts. Yeah, no permits.
No permits, nothing, can't do anything. So that was really cool. And it was just fun when you would pass people, everyone was instantly like sharing beta of like what was up ahead, or they'd ask you like, is there a good water source soon? So it was very communal, very supportive. And that was
day one, you get to Mowich Lake.
yeah.
Do you stop and swim along the way? Do you eat lunch? Do you have a big river crossing? Do you see a hyena? What happens out there on day one? Let's go day by day.
Day by day. Day one, a few river crossings, one on the really cool suspension bridge that you didn't tell me I was going to get to go over. Really sick suspension bridge, which I freaking love bridges. I was so pumped when I saw it. I was like, heck yeah, let's freaking go. So I crossed that bridge and it was great. I did jump in one lake and swim around to cool off. St. Anthony Lake, maybe, if that is a real option.
Maybe.
I'm not sure. I don't totally remember. So that was cool. And then, yeah, mostly just hiked, ate my little couscous dinner on the move, hiked all the way up.
And then you didn't set up your tent
I
here?
didn't set up my tent.
It's a big climb to Mowich Lake too, isn't it?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, yeah, baby.
It's one of the hardest climbs on the whole thing, I think.
Yep. And that was between me and my bed. So I got up there about 20 minutes to midnight, and I tried to set up my tent in the dark, but then I felt like I was bothering people because I kept hearing, all the sleeping pads rustling around, and I couldn't really get the tent stakes to stick in because it's all like the raised bed, so it was all really hard ground. And so eventually I was like, screw it, I can't keep messing with this. So I just blew up my sleeping pad and went to sleep under the stars. And at one point a mouse ran across my head, so I didn't sleep amazing, but I slept some.
Did it get in your food, the mouse?
No, because you had to put everything in a bear box. They have bear boxes there. So it didn't get in my food, and I was wearing the hat Grace knit me for Christmas, luckily, like pulled really far down. So I just felt it like go over. It didn't like touch my skin or anything.
Yeah, Grace knits everything with a few crumbs in it. So.
Yeah, as mouse bait.
Yeah. Okay, so you go to bed at midnight plus, and then you have to get up early or you're not going to make your miles.
Yeah.
Do you just wake up when everyone else does?
Pretty much. I'd set an alarm for 6:15, but I woke up about 6 as most people were starting to head out. So
And you probably feel exhausted and sore and tired.
I actually didn't feel too tired. I was a little sore, but mostly I was embarrassed that I was obviously the person who came into camp late and also couldn't set up their tent in the dark. So I while I was laying on my sleeping pad, opened it to deflate it so I could just pretend like, oh, I've already broken down all my gear, you guys. Actually, it's been this way the whole entire time. It wasn't me who's the idiot here, okay? So I made some oatmeal, and then I made hot tea in my pot again, which actually worked just fine, and started off hiking and actually went the wrong way around the lake for a little bit and had to turn around and walk back past a guy. And I really wanted to make some comment like, it looks the same over there as it does over here or something, so I wouldn't look like such an idiot.
Wow, that is the worst feeling when you go the wrong way.
But then I was like, it's gonna be better if you just say nothing at all. You're not gonna salvage this, so just walk on by. And that's what I did. And then I finally, once I got over whatever that pass is and started going down, I finally found some berries that hadn't been picked over. I passed tons of berry bushes, but they either weren't ripe or had already been picked over, and I finally ran into some that I could eat. So then I was eating fresh berries, which was delicious. And then I passed a group of 3 older men, and one of them immediately was like, any bears? And I said, No, but there's some berries and they're delicious just up ahead. So hiked along, came upon the other suspension bridge, which you can take if you go over the spray park route. But I just took off my pack and went back and forth across the bridge anyway, because that's how much I love bridges. I was like, I've got to do it. I can't just pass it up.
That's where you can look to the south and see all the glaciers on Mount Rainier, right? Yeah, that's a cool section.
It was really cool. And then a bunch of older women. I passed a lot of solo older female hikers, which I also saw a lot of them on the Colorado Trail when I was pacing High Lonesome, and that is just rad to me. They seem to be in their 60s. And they got big packs and they're just by themselves and they're just like kicking it.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when everyone goes on their first backpacking trip as a woman when they're 33.
There you go. There you go.
You got to progress. Just start later in life.
Starting out. So that was really cool. And then I made it up to Sunrise, which is really beautiful, and stopped and ate some trail mix on the way up to Sunrise. And whoo, that will really turn your mood around.
Trail mix?
Oh, yeah. Probably just any food.
Huh, okay.
But I was feeling just like so defeated and hot and tired and sad.
You're also at like 7,800 feet or something there too. Maybe even higher.
Yeah, maybe. This was like just below the top. So I saw an opportune log and I sat down and had some trail mix. And then I was like, actually, life is good. Life is incredible.
Were you eating while moving too?
Some. Peanut butter pretzels, Cliff Builder Bar. I had those accessible.
Nice.
So those were always good. But Sunrise was really pretty. Got to see that, and then got down into White River and went along there. Knew I had to get on the road, and
This is your alternate, or this is
the alternate to get out to Tamanos Creek is 1 mile road walk and then 3 miles up to the campsite, all uphill. And so I thought, let me see if I can get a ride. Because I'm only going 1 mile, so I'll just keep walking. And I got picked up pretty quick, which was nice. And then they were like really trying to start a long-term conversation with me. And I was like, yeah, where are you going? And they said, oh, we're going to Olympic National Forest tomorrow. This is Jolene. I'm Alex. She'll tell you her story, then I'll tell you my story. And then I was like, guys, this is my trailhead. You gotta let me out.
Wow.
I can't become best friends with you. I gotta go. So they let me out, and I stopped again and cooked dinner before I got to my campsite because I knew I wasn't gonna get there before dark, even though I was hoping I would. I got there right as it got more full dark, I would say. But
close.
So close on night 2. But I ate. I hiked up, and that campsite, the ranger had told me you had to hang your bag on a bear pole. And I was like, okay.
You were nervous about this. You were like YouTubing it and stuff.
Well, yeah, I don't have service to YouTube it, but I definitely texted you about it because I've never done that. And then you were like, and I was already planning on just asking someone to help me, but then on the way up, I saw a giant pile of bear scat. So I was like, okay, well, obviously I'm going to have to hang it now for sure, 100%, because that's the rules. And there's obviously a bear in the area. And then I got to this campsite, not a soul there, not one
I told you
person.
The strategy was to find a white man, and he would know how to do it.
That was going to be my strategy.
If he didn't know how, he was going to pretend he knew how.
I know. I was like, if I can't figure it out, if it's like, if I'm too short, if I whatever, if I don't know how to make it work, I don't mind. I never mind asking people for help. Not I never mind, but I'm fairly comfortable asking people for help in
Especially
stores.
the middle-aged white male backpacker. Their destiny is to tell women how to do things. They would have been such a great help.
I know. So that was my plan. And I was like, firstly, I couldn't even find it. I remember texting you and being like, what do I do? They said the toilet got hit by a tree and it's been broken down.
That would suck if you were using the toilet and a tree just
I know.
Knocked it over.
And now there's no one here. And I've definitely, if I hadn't seen the Bear Scout, I probably would have, if I couldn't find it, just slept with the food in my tent and not really been that worried about it. But because of that, I was like, I really got to figure this out. And I found it, and the first try didn't work, and then somehow the second try, I don't even know quite how I got it on, but I was like, well, it's on, and I'll just figure out how to get it down in the morning, because it'll be light then, and it's dark now, so
yeah. And
good luck to me.
It went well in the morning. Also, did you set your tent up this time?
I did set my tent up this time, because no one was around, so I could take however long I wanted, which wasn't very long. It's a very easy tent to set up if you can see all the corners. So I set up my tent, and I slept well, and then, got my bag down in the morning, packed everything up, got another really fast, easy hitchhike again.
Because you had to go back?
I had to go back down the road and restart where I had left the trail. But yeah, I got picked up within like 90 seconds. It was very easy, and started off heading towards Summerland, and that whole stretch from like Summerland down along the divide is so cool.
Is this also where you ended up in a bog?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a boggy area too.
Well, first you're up, it feels like you're much closer to the glaciers. Up, you're
Over
not
that,
really
like arm or spine thing, yeah.
Yeah. So I saw two marmots fighting or flirting. I don't know.
It's the same.
It's the same. They were on their hind legs, batting at each other. And you just feel like there are so many waterfalls everywhere. Everywhere. And they're huge. They're going like stories and stories and stories of waterfall.
Yeah, if they could tell stories.
I mean, they'd be pretty good stories. The waterfalls also tasted so delicious. Loved filling up at a waterfall.
Did you filter
Yeah,
all your water?
I filtered all my water.
Wow.
I did.
You'll learn.
I didn't on the foothills trail.
But
I did
30-mile days get easier when you don't filter water. It's just like adding up minutes.
Well, I just have a life straw bottle, so I can still just fill my bottle and drink. I don't have to squeeze it into anything else except my mouth.
That's probably nice.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. But that was really cool. Had some snow crossings, but I just felt like I was closer to like being properly up on Mount Rainier. So that was just really, really sweet. And then I lost the trail around Indian Bar, and then just sat down to have a snack, and I was like, oh, the grass is a little wet. Oh well, it's the last day, I don't care. And then when I stood up, I was like, oh no, I've been sitting in a bog. It's not that the grass is wet, it's that all of the ground is soaking wet.
How did you lose the trail?
It hit one of those river, I don't know, washes, big river washes again, and I just couldn't follow the cairns fully, and I was like, well, I can see the cabin of Indian Bar, so obviously I need to head that way. And then I was just like too committed to what I was doing, and so then I just like forded the river a couple of times and ended up slightly off trail.
Okay, yeah.
But, oh well. Oopsies.
Okay, and it's your last day. Are you better on schedule to finish by daylight?
I was hoping so, but I definitely packed too much food, and I packed so much extra that even though I was eating breakfast and dinner every day, I wasn't even cooking everything I had in one bag because I had packed too much even within the meal itself, that I was like, oh, my last day, I'll have eaten so much of my food, I'll be moving faster. But I hadn't hardly put a dent in it, so it didn't really make any difference.
Yeah. How much extra food did you pack? Like 2 times too much? 3 times?
Probably 2 times.
You could have done it twice on the food that you had?
Yeah, probably 2 to 2.5 times, I would say.
That's
and
tough.
some of that is also just me not sitting and really thinking through clearly, because I was like 3 days, so I need 3 breakfasts, 3 dinners, and maybe like 3 lunches. So I think I packed 9 meals. But if you really think about it, you start after eating breakfast on day 1, so you need 1 dinner, 1 breakfast, 1 dinner, 1 breakfast, and maybe 1 dinner, but maybe you could eat back at your car. And then, like, you just don't eat lunch. You just snack the whole time. So 2 to 2.5 times too much food. But got down the divide, ran into some guys who were really intently looking at the sign that said there was a trail reroute ahead. And they were like, "Are you going that way on the Wonderland Trail?" And I said, "Which way?" Because they were also blocking the sign with all the arrows. And they said, "That way." And I'm like, "Yes, I am going that way." They said, "What do you know about this reroute?" And I said, "Just follow the signs. It's between 2 waterfalls. It lasts about a mile, goes through a creek bed." And I just felt I hadn't felt so prepared to myself most of the time on the trail, but I had looked into the reroute, and so I was able to feel a little superior to 3 dudes being like, "Oh my God, what do we do?" And I was like, "I think just go, and it will be very obvious where you need to go."
Well, that's where everyone shines in different ways, you know? They probably knew all about bear hangs and stuff, but not reroutes.
Not reroutes. So I went through the reroute, and it is a mess. It's a messy reroute. But then I finished climbing up, got to Louise Lake. That's kind of the top of the last big climb. And then
you start running, huh?
I did run a little bit. I probably ran about 1 to 2 miles a day cumulatively.
Yeah.
Some, especially like when it's when it's wide, smooth pine trail and it's just a little bit of a incline. I was about to say decline. I don't think that's right. Maybe it is.
Decline, yeah. That would be downhill.
Oh yeah, incline is uphill. Whew, never hired me for math.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yep.
I would run on that a lot.
Nice.
It was also nice, to your point too, of just using different muscles. Like walking and hiking is really a bit of a different muscle group than running. So it was nice to mix that up.
Then you get back to the car and you think, wow, that was easy. I can do the FKT soon.
Well, first I detoured to go to Narada Falls, 0.1 miles, because I also thought a lot about what you said of like, I might not ever do that trail again. I might, but I might not. So I might as well go over the suspension bridge and back and detour to see a falls and make sure I'm taking in all the sights and the full experience. So I did that. Got back to my car. No, I had already decided, especially once I hit the reroute, that it's not at this time close enough of a time for me to feel like it's worth driving back out and going for it. If it had felt a little closer, I would go for it. But instead, it felt like, whew, I already was impressed with you, but now I'm like 10 times more impressed.
All right, and that's the podcast.
And there we go.
Yeah. So after doing this, you've seen some thru-hikers. What do you think of that whole lifestyle now?
It's pretty fun. I don't think I would do that much longer than I did. A week could be cool, but I would also do closer to probably like 20-mile days.
Well, I think something people don't realize is whether thru-hikers are extremely stoned or just even normal or really hungry, they're quite good at just figuring out the amount to carry for food and stuff, because they know how much extra can weigh you down, and not having enough, how that would suck too. There's a lot of intuitive skills that go into that I think people just think like dirty people living in the woods, and yeah, that is correct. But there are like some pretty tangible skills that are involved in packing for stuff like that, because as you realized, extra weight really sucks.
So much. So much. Yeah. I definitely gained a deeper connection and appreciation to the backpacking life.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, what else do you want to say?
What else should I say?
Anything. It's still recording for a minute.
For one whole minute?
Maybe until we stop it.
The Wonderland Trail is really cool. And also, I would just say don't be intimidated to go and try new stuff. Like if I had stuck to my guns and said, no, I only want to run it, or I only want to go and do it if I can do it with friends, then I wouldn't have gotten to experience it. And it would have been different lessons learned, but this, similar to like an ultra, I learned a lot about myself. I didn't really listen to podcasts or music or anything, so it was just 14 hours a day of me and my own thoughts.
You stressing out that you didn't know how to do the math on how long the day was going to take, but knowing it was going to take a long time. Is that basically it?
Some of that for sure.
Like, okay, 2.6 miles an hour. I don't know how long it's going to take, but it's going to take a long time.
I don't even know how to see miles per hour on my watch, I don't think. Actually, I think I did, but yeah, I knew that was going to take a while, just doing math of, okay, it's more what I was doing was like, okay, I've gone 8 miles and it's been 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And I need to go 24 more miles? And that's 8 divided by, like, I was probably doing really the incorrect way to solve any math problem.
Were you like maxing out your math ability?
Well, it gave me something to do for a while.
Exactly, yeah. You don't have to rush through those story problems.
Oh, no.
If Allison walks at this speed for this long, when will she hit her campsite?
Never.
At first you were like, oh, 7 p.m. But then you found out the correct answer was midnight.
Yeah. Well, I thought 7:40, I think, initially.
Okay.
Would have been 10 hours. And then I was like, okay, 9:40, that's 12. Surely it'll just be 12.
Yeah.
Can't take much longer than 12 hours to go 34 miles. But it can.
Yeah, it can.
It can.
All right, our last segment brought to you by Mount to Coast Shoes. What was your favorite thing about the trip, and what was your least favorite thing about the trip?
I think my favorite thing was all the waterfalls. I really also love waterfalls almost as much as I love bridges, or maybe they're equal. And it was really cool to see them so far out and then get closer to them. That sounds silly, but like see one and be like, wow, that's such a stunning waterfall, and then realize hours and miles later as you've wound around and been like, oh, I think that's what I was looking at, but now I'm like in it. So that was really cool. I think my least favorite thing was the carrots.
Yeah, that checks out.
I carried carrots for a day and a half.
How many pounds of carrots do you think?
I don't know, but it could have been a pound. I don't think it was like carrot chips in a little wash. It was half a bag of carrot
chips is a good trail name.
I think I have a lot of trail name possibilities now.
Yeah.
Carrot chips is top notch.
Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, and as a representative of the thru-hiking community and a white male myself, do you have any questions for me on how to improve your experience for the next time?
I am curious how you figure out how much food you're actually going to eat, because it on the one hand is very easy to go, oh, that was dumb. I didn't need to pack 3 breakfasts. I'm only out for 2 nights and 2 mornings. Like, that's a pretty intuitive or easy solve. But within, like, because I created my own meals to rehydrate, within that, how do you know, like, how much instant mashed potatoes or how much couscous you're going to eat? Do you just measure it out, and then if it's not enough, you're just kind of hungry that night?
Well, what you did was you took some expert planning and mixed it with your first trip. It was like you have great recipes that are new, just not quite sure any like serving size or anything. So I think you have to learn. But what I would do is, if it was just like some noodles or couscous and instant mashed potatoes, is I would always think like between a third and a half of a package of just say Idaho and mashed potatoes, and then add that into usually 2 servings of couscous, and then that would work pretty good. But you just know by doing it, and I think the serving size you just basically eat for 2. You eat 1 serving for yourself and 1 for the trail. That's how you do it.
I thought I would eat a lot more, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Not even because there wasn't time, but just like, I'm so tired. I'm ready to be done.
It takes 2 weeks to hit like true hunger.
Yeah.
That's why I spent 2 weeks on the East Coast.
Yep. Did you get really hungry?
Yeah, by the end, for sure.
What did
Yeah,
you
I went to
have?
all-you-can-eat sushi, and I think between us, we ate over 100 rolls. That is like $1 million worth of cost.
Wow.
I wouldn't do that in Montana because our sushi kills.
Our mushrooms kill, but yes.
Our sushi? It's a sushi spot.
It's a sushi place.
Who would have thought Dave Sushi killed a guy? Next sponsor.
Their billboard coming into town no longer says like Bozeman's favorite or #1 sushi. It just says a downtown staple.
Yeah, exactly.
No, they're not treading those waters anymore.
No. All right, that was the show. Thanks for coming on. Where can people find you? You wrote about this on Substack.
I did. I'm on Substack, AllisonHardingPowell.substack. I'm on Instagram, Allison H. Powell.
All right,
That's
awesome.
where I am.
Cool. Thanks. Stay elite, my friends. Good job.
Stay elite, my friends.